Hi everyone, I'm so excited because for one, I'm pretty sure you can see me this month. I'm really sorry about how dark everything was last month. And if you can see me, then you get to see the cards. So that's really good because that's the whole point of this, is so you can see the cards and understand the energies around them. I'm using the Osho Zen Tarot cards this month for May 2015. Today is April 29th. I'm doing your reading. It's 10:20, and just really excited because I tried to do this reading yesterday twice, and my computer kept cutting out. So trying a different deck of cards today because apparently they did not want me to share the cards I was using yesterday with you as much as I tried. So we'll see what the universe has to share. I hope everyone had a really great April. I know with the reading last month we talked about there being a lot of things coming up, especially with the eclipses and the moon and the shift in Pisces, and I know myself, I had quite the month. About 10 days ago I had a huge aha moment that I'm still working through. I actually have written up a little story about it. In my newsletter. And if you don't get my newsletter, you can sign up for it on my website, www.healingpossibilities.com. Or if you like my Facebook page, if you're on Facebook, you can go to Healing Possibilities, and there'll be a link there as well to view it. So I hope you do, because it was pretty exciting and amazing. So I share it much like I share the stories in my book, just my experience, and hopefully you'll get something from that. So 3 cards to start with. See where that takes us. So the first card is control, and very much so you can see this man trying to stay in control, all the very sharp edges of his life, but almost how it's at a point of being dangerous to have this much control in your life. And I think it's a good reminder for all of us that when we become so rigid, there's no room for making changes in our life, or even being able to see the possibilities that can make our life so very different from one day to the next. I do love this deck, and I love this book. So I'm actually going to share some of this with you as soon as I find. Here it is. Control. So there is a time and place for control, but if we put it in charge of our lives, we end up totally rigid. The figure is encased in the angles of pyramid shapes and surround him. Light glitters in off his shining surfaces, but does not penetrate. It's as if he is almost mummified inside this structure he's built up around himself. His fists are clenched, and his stare is blank, almost blind. The lower part of his body beneath the table is a knife point, a cutting edge that divides and separates. His world is ordered and perfect, but it is not alive. He cannot allow any spontaneity or vulnerability to enter it. The image of the King of Clouds reminds us to take a deep breath, loosen our neckties, and take it easy. If mistakes happen, it's okay. If things get a little out of hand, it's probably just what the doctor ordered. There is much, much more to life than being on top of things. And that's why I love this deck, because it just really gets down to business and tells you as it is. So the second card is schizophrenia. There it is there. the Two of Clouds. And they are like the tarot cards. They have the breakup of it. Water, water, clouds. I'll let you look at that as I'm talking. The person on this card brings a new twist to the old idea of getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. But we are precisely this sort of situation. We are in precisely this sort of situation when we get stuck in the indecisive and dualistic aspects of the mind. Should I let go? Should I let my arms go and fall head first, or let my legs go and fall feet first? Should I go here or there? Should I say yes or no? And whatever decision we make, we will always wonder if we should have decided the other way. The only way out of this dilemma is, unfortunately, to let go of both at once. You can't work your way out of this one by solving it, making lists of pros and cons, or in any way working it out with your mind. Better to follow your heart if you can find it. If you can't find it, just jump. Your heart will start beating so fast, there will be no mistake about where it is. So I've actually talked to quite a few people this week, mostly coaching clients, and other people that are having a very difficult time making decisions right now. And the thing about decisions is you can change it. So if you've made a decision and you don't like it, you can change it. You don't have to always stick with it. There is a way out. And in the past, many of us were brought up to believe that was not the case, that once you made a decision, you had to stick with it for the rest of your life. And so decisions became these big, huge things for us. I'm not saying you need to give up on every decision you make, and there's definitely a place where you need to be responsible for the decision you make to some degree. You can't just flutter it away and never make a decision because you think you can change it so often. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying if you're sitting in a place and you don't know which way to go, I mean, this is why coaching is so wonderful, because I can help, or any coach can help you make that decision that is the best decision for you, because we really help you tap into that intuitiveness, which is you, and into that future self where you see exactly what your life could be in either of those decisions, so it makes decisions easier. So if you're faced with a decision, do sit with it. Don't just write down pros and cons, because that's coming from your head, it's not coming from your heart. Sit in that decision and see which one feels right. And then make a decision. Move forward into that decision. That decision might shift and change yet again once you're in it, but at least you're going in some direction. You're not standing there in the fog not knowing what to do. And if you ever have been in the fog, you know it's a very, very uncomfortable place. You always feel much better when you get through the fog and into the part where you can actually see. So the third card is called Understanding. And I love this card. I love all these cards. Because as we make our decisions, and all the way through here, the control, where perhaps it's not allowing us to move forward in any way. We've made decisions a long time ago, and this is the way things need to look. So this is the way they're going to be. But all of a sudden there's a crossroad. We need to make a decision. We've never had to before because we've always been quite sure where we're going. Or maybe we've never been sure, but now we have to make a decision. As you can see, this one bird is longing to be with all those other birds. Can you see that? And he doesn't even realize he has really no decision at all to make, because there is no door on this cage. He can fly out at any time. But he's stuck in the decision of wanting to go and not wanting to go, possibly, and just leaving himself all by himself without enjoying what he really would like to do. And I'm going to read this one for you too. The Understanding card. Oh, isn't that great when that opens up like that? The bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There is no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. The bars were an illusion, and this small bird is being summoned by the grace and freedom and encouragement of the others. It is spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open and the sky has always been there for us to explore can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let overshadowing the opportunity to experience the light-heartedness and adventure and offer right there alongside the shakiness. Move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Feel the fluttering within. Spread your wings and be free. And that's the other part. When you're ready to make a decision, sometimes you think it's the wrong decision because you do get so full of anxiety over what's going on. But what if it's excited anxiety? What if it's something that means you're moving into a place that's just going to be so wonderful, and you've confused it with that anxiety you usually have when you feel dread? If you really tap into it, you'll realize it's not dread at all. It's because you're finally on your right path and you're moving in the right direction, and you can feel that excitement of moving in that direction. And sometimes it starts off feeling a bit like dread because the ego gets involved and it's scared of you taking the path, and I don't want to say of least resistance, but the path that's meant for you, the path that you're supposed to be on. So I hope you can let yourself feel more free this month. I talk about that in my little article in my newsletter. The freedom I found around my aha moment this month was huge for me. Totally huge. It totally allowed me to break through this control. And I'm still maybe a little bit in the schizophrenic stage. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going, but I know I'm going, and that's all there is to it. So that part is this whole part, coming apart, so that I'm just moving out and forward and trusting the future. And if you've gone through anything in the last month or several months, or going through something right now, try and remember how you can get out the other side, and know that you can. You don't need to be struggling anymore or controlling the situation. You can allow yourself the freedom to just move through it, because once you get to the other side, no matter what your decision is, you're going to feel better for it. Definitely, you'll be coming out of that fog. So I wish you an absolutely wonderful May. I also wanted to mention I'm teaching mini workshop at the Yoga Down. If you're here in the Calgary, Edmonton you could come to, Calgary, Okotoks area. I am teaching a 3-hour healing boundary workshop, and you can go online at Yoga Down to sign up for that, or you can contact me if you want more information. Tracy, Tracy, @healingpossibilities.com. Bye.